gosh, I'm going to be staring at myself this whole time now. Okay.
Hey there, it's Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, Worldwide TV Network, WomenOnTV.tv, iTunes 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee. And November 17th, Terry, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, I almost said Spanish something. I'm thinking of Latin America for whatever reason. But all of these things coming up. Look forward to this. And Terry, today, almost 6.4 million views a day and counting. Almost there.
This is crazy.
Almost there.
Yes.
The goal is to get to 10 million views between now and the end of the year a day. So obviously back for show number 2 today, nonstop Terri Marie.
Hi, everybody. As I said before, I'm grateful to be here. I cannot, actually, you know what's kind of crazy is I can't believe it's already November. This year is almost over. And this year has been such a crazy ride, but I mean, it's been good for us. And, you know, again, as I said earlier, thank you for, I think, how long have I been working with you now? Is it five years? We've done a lot in the last 5 years. Sport Mix, Celebrity
I can't
Connected.
get rid of you.
Yeah, no.
5 years you've been tailing me.
5 years,
and
yep.
now we have all 13 co-hosts. Actually, we
Yep.
have DJ Badass with
Yep,
us.
and she's awesome. I mean, the first time I met her was at what was it? Toys
for Tots.
Toys for
She's
Tots.
probably disc jockeying it.
Yeah, she was. Oh no, it was Babes in Toyland. It wasn't
yeah.
Toys for Tots. Anyway,
But
so
we
that's
have
where I first met her.
all those things that we're not getting to. But here's the thing. I've been wanting her to come back for a long time. The last time she was on our show, Terry, you weren't there. Brett was there in studio in Sherman Oaks. There's only one of her. I had loved the stuff that she does because I follow her mode. And she doesn't realize because what she's done, I watched her go from, she was at 917,000 views, dropped down to 901, worked her ass off in 30 days to get to 1 million views. She's at 1.2 right now on her Instagram. She's got 285 on her Twitter and counting, and she's got 4.5 million on her Facebook. And I'm not even counting anything else, and there's only one. She's an actress, she's a model. She loves sports, which is what I wanted for Sportamix, for what we have planned for her. She doesn't know what I have planned for her, but I got some great things planned for her. There's only one, Ms. Nikki Leigh. Oh. I'm so glad that you're back, and you just got back, too.
I literally did. Wow, that was a great introduction. I need to remember that.
Well, welcome.
I'll remind you. You can always play it back.
So, Brian, we met at the red carpet, though.
She's always been out of gifting suite.
Yes, at Celebrity Connected. So it's good to see you again, beautiful.
Yay.
Thank you for being here. So
Thank you. Of course, it's been a blast. I mean, I miss those gifting suites.
Oh my
I
God.
will say there's a list of things I miss.
How do you not miss getting free stuff? Like free makeup, free hair. No, the gifting suites are awesome.
Well,
I love them.
I just love the way that there's so many passionate people that bring their products and they put their heart and their soul, but they're even like all their savings or whatever, they put it into this like idea, and I find that to be so like invigorating, and I absolutely love helping support these people because some people come up with some great ideas.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing. I mean, yeah, so even just to be somebody that can help push them out into the world, that's one of the things that I miss. I miss making those connections and really having Celebrity Connected. That's hilarious, and really just meeting new people with a real passionate heart. So that's really what I miss. Of course, free stuff. Who doesn't love free stuff? But I mean, yeah, just to see someone take an idea and then really make it and come to fruition a lot of people don't do that. So that's one thing that I've really missed, meeting more people. I've missed the people.
Being around people, yes.
How much do you miss the people? Because your fan base loves you.
Oh my God, I love people. And I love to miss them so much that I literally started doing lives like Monday through Friday. I've been a little away because I was literally out of the country, but it's been amazing that I've been able to even connect with them on live. And so with that, it's like, thank you, social media, for live and being able to really connect with people around the world, because it's something that I really passionately love to do. And so, I guess the people just brought me an idea of going live, and now I've been doing that. And it's so funny. We actually have now this huge community, and we call it Positivity Time. So it's like a lot of fun.
It's funny. I love that because I actually will chime in because at my place in Vegas. Now everybody knows I live in Vegas, but I wasn't telling everybody for the longest time. But I got my 3 laptops set up, my 2 phones, my tablet, and my iPad. And I'm literally, and then you go on, all of a sudden, oh, there she is. What's she talking about? And then I stop for a minute, and I'm like, oh, that's a nice message. Because Terri, she does this. She's looking, and then she turns around like this, like she's playing with her music or something, because I had the volume down. Yeah. And she turns back, she just smiles, and all of a sudden, you see all these comments coming up like this out of nowhere. It's hilarious. I'm like, how does she keep track of all this stuff? Because I can barely do what I'm doing.
It's tough.
And then she turns around, and all of a sudden, she says hi to someone, but she says it so elegantly. And it's a positive message, and I like it. So like 10 minutes I chime in, and then I go back to deal, and the phone starts ringing, and then I'm like, what is she doing now? And then she'll say hi if she can, because it's scrolling down really fast. She's like, oh, I'll see, so hi to so-and-so, like Linda Steele does. But they're both really good at that. So that's what I admire about what she's doing now.
It's hard to do that. It really is hard to try to, talk to people and then try to focus on what you say and type, and it's you're multitasking, But
Definitely multitasking.
But you get better at it the more you do it. So.
Exactly. Like anything, right? The more practice, the better. It's not easy. Because I mean, starting out, I was on radio, so I had a producer, that actually filtered the calls, and then you got to, you know what I mean?
Back in the day, right?
Back in the day, and then it got to me, and then I was safe to talk to this person and all that. So that's a whole other issue, by the way. But I mean, it's totally different. Now I feel like I'm my own producer, my own director, my own star, my own everything.
Well, here's
the
the
lighting,
thing.
lighting and crew.
But here you are your
everything.
own brand. So the reason there was 2 people I was checking out all the time. One was Weekly Chris, who became one of our influencers, and then what Nikki was doing. Because I saw till this day, Nikki, I don't know if you know this, no one has done what you did in that 30-day period. You were working your ass off to get to that 1 million views, and I never forgot that. So that's why I always tell Terri, it's about the views.
Yeah.
To hell with the followers and the subscribers. I tell them this. You can unfollow someone. No one's going to unfollow you.
That's true.
But they can unfollow you. They can unlike you, and they can unsubscribe.
Yeah.
But with the views, you can't unview a view.
Can't
and
unview
that's what I tell them.
That's true.
So with that, when we went to Tennessee, I was looking at all the stuff when we were doing our shows there, and it said, it's about the views. So now she's entered. And you can understand this, being that she doesn't like being called a social media influencer, but she is an influencer, but she's many things. She is that host. She loves sports, so and that actress, that comes first. But she does this. And that's what people forget sometimes, because you're many things.
Yeah, multi-passionate.
But when we went to Tennessee, it was like, this is what we have to do. I've got to catch up to someone that I know to have that bar.
Yeah.
And I'll never get the followers. They're not going to follow me. They'll follow the girls, which is what they do. But let's do it from the view. So we created our own thing, sort of like you created your own brand, because that's how it works now. Yeah. So with that's why I said we have 6.3 million views a day and counting, and we do. Because it goes up between 1 and 64,000 views a day. And you know what that's like. It's not easy doing all that stuff.
No, it's definitely a constant job that you don't necessarily get paid for. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yep.
So it's like, you better love what you do. Or you better, you just got to really put your whole heart into it, to be honest with you.
And she brought her cute dog today.
I know,
I
yes.
did.
Who's part of what she does.
Cody's amazing.
Cody's so cute. Cody's like sitting here
so
sleeping.
easy.
He's
Look
so
at-
cute.
Yeah, he's so easy. It's kind of ridiculous how easy he is. Like I was saying to you guys, like he's easier than me. Like, and I'm pretty go with the flow. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm pretty solid, but like he makes it feel like I really gotta step up my game. Like you gotta be more relaxed, tranquilo.
He's very relaxed. Well,
He
you know what's
is.
good about him? Because a lot of little dogs, because I grew up with Pekingese, and they're hyper. They're jumping around. So he's so good. He's not, he's relaxed. He's not jumping
Yeah.
around.
Cody,
Good dog.
Cody the stud, man. He really is a stud.
Talk about you. You were traveling a lot last year, and I was
yeah.
like, I haven't been able to travel a lot because of putting all this stuff together. But I was like, again, vicariously, I only saw you doing a lot of stuff. I didn't see anybody else doing anything. It's like everybody kind of dropped off. They got for those ones that hit the million mark. That's it. And then you never heard from them. And then if they dropped below that, they fought to get back to that million because it's a huge thing.
Yeah, it's good
You
to
don't
say
ever
you
want
have
to
a
adapt to
million.
that. But they're not doing anything. You, on the other hand, is when you were traveling around to the sports world when we could travel. But I have some things for you. You just don't know what I have for you yet.
Ooh.
So when you were traveling, you would love to go to the Golden Knights game.
Oh, yeah.
Or you go to sporting events and you take these photos. And I thought that was brilliant. And so even when it came to for Terri for Sportomix for us, it was what Nikki was doing because we haven't been locked down for what we've been doing. Nothing stopped us. For 40 weeks, we did 210 Zoom interviews.
Yeah,
And
wow.
we were able to
Yeah.
get over the $1 million mark on YouTube, which took me forever to do.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is a lot of work. Well, we got up to 80,000 views in a 5-hour period. I'm like, Nikki's doing this. She's just, so I had to use someone as competition, so I used you.
Oh, there you go. I'll set your bar.
and that was the thing. But it was the work ethic because again, no one knows behind the scenes how hard it is to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
It's
hard.
It is hard. I've been even, you find all these pictures of an iceberg. I feel like that's where it's like that's the biggest visual for me is like you see the tip of the iceberg, but underneath the water is like the massive, that's where the real depth and width of the iceberg is. And people don't see that part. People see the surface part. They see that little tip where you're like, don't run into that. But yeah, and I feel like I listen to so many different, like radio shows, podcasts. I watch a lot of inspirational things and also YouTube. I love YouTube right now because it's like anything I want in the motivational space. It's like you just type that in and you have a plethora. You're just like, this is crazy. And I just try and take a little bit of everything, like a little bit from everything that I see or read, and I really try to apply it. And also staying calm, like not panicking, because there's a lot you have to do. And I'm not perfect at this, but I'm still trying to like schedule things out. I feel like having a schedule really, really helps. And that's been something that I'm still struggling with, but like when I have this positivity time, that's actually my favorite because it gives me an hour where I'm like, okay, I can do something to this hour and then something after that. It just gives me a marker of what I can, my productivity. It gives me a marker. So, every day I go, every morning I drive to my chiropractor because I've been working on my back and my posture and my neck.
I need that.
Oh my God, I have the best one for you. I'm not kidding. And he's a miracle worker. And he that's my 10 a.m. That's my 10 a.m. every day. Like I wake up at 5:30 so that I can go and work out and in whatever capacity. Obviously I can't go to a gym anymore, but whether it's a run or I now have like a space in my apartment, like I'm sure most of us do, like where we're like, this is where we have to work out. We're going to use all the water jugs and the toilet paper that we can, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to do all that we can with the household items and like create weight. But I've literally had to create these little spaces. I also took down, I had a TV that was mounted and I took down this mount. Thank the Lord for my friend Hiram who helps me with all my little crazy buildings. and we put up another mount that came out and shifts like 90 degrees or whatever. So now I can like be at the other end of the room and be working out, because that actually makes more sense than me being in my living room in front of my TV. Like, it's just too, it's just too condensed. So I've had to do all these little build outs or little things to make my life organized, or, in more of a flow, if you will.
It's definitely working, because it looks like you have, feng shui going on. 'Cause I'm looking at the background, I'm like, oh, that looks pretty cool how she did it. I'm like, did she do all this by herself? No, she couldn't have done it all by. I feel like that fan, but I know kind of what you're doing, but you don't really know until people ask you. But
That's
it's working.
true.
It's working.
Thank you. Yeah, that's nice to hear validation.
Because I don't have
You
time to
never
check
know.
in on all these people, because you know what it's like. Hey, can you like what I'm doing? Can you subscribe? I'm sure you've had people do that, and I never asked any of my friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is it, first of all?
Yeah,
what
well,
is he doing?
exactly. And you really have to be, you have to really, you have to love what you put out there. Like, it's really bad when a lot of people just go, yeah, I'll take that, or I'll share it out with the world. And it's like, but do you believe in that? Like, do you believe in that product, or do you believe in that, in like their mission as a company or whatever? And that's where I had for a good, gosh, I want to say like I've done really big chunks, as well as like up to a year, where I literally had no endorsement of a product or nothing.
Yep.
Because I was like, nope, I'm sorry. I think it's great, and I keep pushing. You're almost there. You have a great idea, but I want to really give my followers and my fans and the people I care about like solid advice, solid things to back. So it really it's become one of those things where I've really respected people who don't sell out. I think that's one of the words I'm looking for. Like, you can't sell out. Like, people rely on you, especially in social media world and whatever. Like, that's why I'm also like, I don't know if I'm really an influencer. I mean, I have influence
No, I gotta
in a
stop you
way.
right there. No, you are, but you're many things, and I tell everybody that she's not just this, and don't look at her like that. She loves sports.
I love
She
sports,
she
yeah.
has
I
something
miss my
we get
sports.
to. Well, we have something for you.
Oh, woo. Yay.
And you were talking about products, so that's
Yeah.
why sometimes I run things by you, because I think you should like this, and I do the same thing for Terry and Victoria and the other girls. I'm like, I think they'll like this. I feel like I'm that fashion person that can't never wear what you guys wear, but I think I know what you guys will like, because I've seen what you like, what you're wearing, and things like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, like, remember, what's her face's makeup from Santa Barbara that Nikki liked it. We had a celebrity connected, and her name was
Nanico? Is it
that
Nanico?
was one.
That was one. Yeah, I've helped them out on their social presence, actually.
Because they all need it. And I love
They do.
helping small businesses, and I always tell people, I want stuff that's environmentally friendly, sustainable, and I want to, showcase it on our ranch for Dreamweaver Artist Ranch. And I want it, that's why I like the Ellipto hand sanitizer, because it's the best in the world. It's the only one that says it kills 99.99999% of germs. Nobody else says that.
Yeah.
And so you were there at the gifting suite, those things, and then Tim O'Connor is our friend, so he's actually been here. So when I'm promoting that, I've had them for 5 years. What did everybody need this year? Hand
That's
sanitizer,
hilarious,
right?
yeah.
It's true. And the
That's
restroom
true.
kit. I've had them for 4 years. Bill and Melinda and Sonia Macy and Jimmy Adams for the stuff for the restroom kit. You were there for that.
Yeah.
It comes in handy, doesn't it?
It does come in handy, especially now when we're I have a whole thing about hygiene already, and like, I've been to the airport and watched people go to the restroom and then walk right out and go to their gate, and I'm like, excuse me, ma'am.
Did you wash your hands?
Did you forget something? That did you wash those hands?
Yeah.
Like, where did
Exactly.
you wash those hands? Because I'm like, with the COVID now, everyone's more aware of hygiene. I'm like, thank you for that at least.
So I've been traveling with my Lysol for years, and Lysol's
Yeah.
with us for things.
Oh, fun.
So-
yeah.
Back in the days, you were a host. You're supposed to always spray down everything. Everything's been
Yeah,
wiped
you
out.
have to sanitize.
We were doing that before, but you have to do it even more now. So I've always been like this. So when you walked in, even for one of my other friends, our doorknobs. This goes on the doorknobs. It's got silver. He was here yesterday. The same thing on this product. that we have. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to give you this.
Oh, yay!
You're gonna, because you haven't been getting any gifts.
No, I haven't.
But you did get some Chaz Dean stuff today. So
Yeah.
I figured you would like that. So
Yay!
you're gonna like that. So from
I love
Lumi
going
Charge,
home with stuff.
when you get a chance, you look up Lumi Charge because he'll hook you up.
I will.
And
That's
Balaji
super
is one
cool.
of our good friends because their stuff is really good. And Terry, I know which one you want too.
Okay. But I was going to say something about the elliptical because before COVID, I was so excited about it because I'm a gym rat. And I just,
Right.
I don't like to even use like the sanitizer or the thing. So I like to have my own sanitizer all the time.
Oh.
So that was,
There you go.
and then I found out it's really good for bug bites.
Yeah. Hey, that's
because
cool.
of the
Eucalyptus, yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
So, but that's an amazing. And I love it because what you said, what doesn't smell like.
Doesn't all the
smell
hand
like-
sanitizers started smelling like tequila.
Yep.
And I love.
I didn't
I
know
will
that.
say I love
They
tequila.
do.
I'm a top shelf tequila gal. But I don't want to smell it
On your
on my
hands.
hands. Like, it's like if you got pulled over, they're gonna be like, "Excuse me." I'm like, "No, it's a hand sanitizer."
That's a good one.
I
It's
don't
a
know.
hand sanitizer.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
a hand. Yeah, now, no, that's not an excuse. Do not drink it.
No.
Absolutely not. But it just I didn't want to walk around smelling like alcohol.
Alcohol. Yep.
Period. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it smells actually like a cleaning solution rather than.
What did you come up with when you were locked down, and how did you deal with that?
Well, I came up with positivity time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which I love. I mean, this is the last show we were talking about, like positive energy and
Yeah.
manifesting good energy and getting up in the morning instead of having negative thoughts, have positive thoughts because it affects your whole day.
It affects your entire day. But I understand with people going through depression and stuff, like it's not easy and it's not a switch. I have total respect for that. I get it. But we do have control over our minds, and or at least we have to give ourselves credit that we do. And it's just making the little steps. So it's just, you catch yourself. It's easier for a negative thought to get compounded because one negative thought only stays in our head for 17 seconds. That's like all the research I've done. 17 seconds is the number. And then it just becomes another negative thought. And then we get on another negative thought. And it just becomes like, you just you get down in your rabbit hole and then you become super depressed. And that becomes your personality. And it's really being able to be more aware of yourself and catching that thought and doing your dang best to just try and switch it. Just be proud of yourself for something. Like like everyone in COVID right now, you've had to be your own best friend because you can't, like you're alone. Most of us are trapped in our own apartment or home and we're our own best friend. We're the only ones we can rely on. So what would you tell your best friend? If your best friend hasn't, says something negative, most of the time you'd be like, "Oh, don't say that," or "Don't say that about yourself," or "Look at this," and you'd point out something positive or something. So it's like that's what I was just trying to help out. And honestly, I mean, I could get super emotional about this, and I hope I don't. But I've had so many people just chime in every day, and they look at my post in the morning, and it will say a time that I'm gonna go on because my day fluctuates, and I want to make it, but sometimes it has to be at different times. And so I've had people literally build their day around that morning post, knowing that at 2 p.m. she's coming on, and I can interact with her and giving advice. I'm by no means a doctor or psychologist or anything. I do have a psych degree background, which gives me a little bit of, at least I've looked into this, but I'm just someone that's just trying to help you out. And if you can take my advice or leave it, I'm not saying I'm the Bible, but when I'm having a bad day or something, I'll ask anyone, you know what I mean? Anyone on the street, usually I'd just be like, what do you think about this? Or try and get advice because I like perspectives. Like getting a different perspective is healthy. Now you don't have to take that person's advice. You can walk away and go, "Oh my God, that girl or guy was a lunatic." But whatever you want to do. But it's just getting, perspective, which is what really limits us is we aren't really good all the time at getting different perspectives. Once you're locked into something, you think that's what you think. It's not easy to think about another angle, It's like you think of something that's negative. There's so much of that right now, and it's like, well, no, maybe, I don't know. Maybe that person was having a bad day. the guy on the road who tries to run you off. You're going to be like, what the heck are you doing? You know, you're going to get all upset, but take a second, and maybe that person is rushing to the hospital. Maybe that person, you know, you just never know what that person's going through. So it's having a little compassion for others and yourself. And I've just tried to at least shine a little bit of light on that. And it's helped me. I've gone through my own waves. I think we all have, but it's just about just trying really hard to look at the light and look for positivity wherever you can find it.
You also have to run away from the negative energies out there, because that negative energy will chase you. And especially being on social media, I mean, and I always say, if somebody's going to comment on my stuff, whether it be good or bad, you're a fan, you're following. But, you know, some people will get a nasty comment because everybody gets them, and then they're like, oh my God, and then they're all upset about it. And this doesn't matter if you're an actor or a model or housewife, you know, people just say mean things to people on the internet, and then it makes their whole day ruined. You know what I mean? And you have to sit there and think, this person is unhappy, and it's about them. It's not about you.
Well, and a book that I absolutely love that I've told all my followers to read is The Four Agreements.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I've read that.
It's a great book, and that's one of the books that I've read during this quarantine. And one of them is don't take things personally. Mm-hmm. Like that will
and
save
that is
you.
So true.
That will save you so
much.
That's
what I was telling her half the time.
So much stress. Yeah, it's like, well, everyone needs to hear it. I need to hear it. You know, it's like there are some times where, you get a comment or something, or someone says something to you, like even the car analogy where I'm like, someone's trying to run you off the road. You could like take that totally personally. And it's like, that's only going to stress you out and then make that situation even greater. It's like, just brush it off. You just need to start developing a confidence and trust within yourself. And that's where, that's where it starts to be like, you become rubber, like that whole I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. Like that's so, I feel like that recently has been I've been going back to all these little riddles my mom used to tell me, like sticks and stones may break your bones, but words can never hurt me. Yep. Like all these things. I'm like, Mom, I'm connecting with these now. I'm like, when I was 5, they didn't mean crap to me, but now I get it. It's like, I'm an adult. I get it now.
But that's true. And that's why I always tell them, when you change the way you see things, the things you see will change.
100%.
And then those words do make sense now.
Yeah.
When you were traveling a lot, I thought that was great. It seems like you were traveling and everybody was like stuck. And I would reach out and I'm like, where are you? I'm in Italy. I'm like, oh, good for you. And I was like so excited that you were traveling because I couldn't get on a plane. I couldn't go anywhere because I was so busy doing all this stuff. And then that's what I miss. I miss traveling.
I know.
I would love to go to Australia and see my friends. So now they're sending, I can't say that part, but they're sending me things that people can't get that I'd love to be getting now, which is exciting. And it's one of those things where it goes back to the gifting suites. We're creating our own stuff. Cool. So when you come in, we'll already have stuff.
Yeah.
That'll be here. So that saves it. Yeah. It's not like what it is, and it won't ever be like that again because you just can't do it that way. However, I'm in touch with a lot of those companies now, so it'll just be coming this way. So that's why I'm like, what do you think about this? Yeah. And I knew she's busy, so she would chime back when she had a chance because I can imagine what she's getting. If I'm getting it, I can imagine what she's getting. Yeah. And I'm like, this is okay. Check into this company when you get a chance. Okay.
Yeah. No, well, good. Thanks for not taking that personally.
You can't.
Because a lot of people do, and I'm just like, you guys, I don't have time to hold your hand right now. Like, it's okay. There's no ill will. I'm just, I'll get back to you when I can because I care. At least I'll get back to you. But
here's the thing: what happens to it? Any woman, doesn't matter who she may be, she's not ignoring you. Everybody is busy. And then you don't realize how many people if I got people from China and Australia and New Zealand and Germany and everywhere reaching out because they want to be a part of what we're doing, just think of your average woman, what she's going through, and how many people are responding. Hello, because you know this. Once you say hello, and you've had this happen, once you say hello to this new person, you've opened the door.
Yeah.
And you can't close it at that point. Yeah. And they're just like waiting. I know if I say hello, they're going to respond one day.
Oh, yeah.
She knows.
Oh, yeah. I definitely do. And I'm like, with all due respect.
Exactly. Yeah. So I say these things because they understand it at that point because they go, oh, you have a bunch of beautiful co-hosts. I'm like, that's not why I chose them. I mean, Terri chose me, and I joke about it, but again, she has. You came on the show 5 years ago when I was creating this stuff and testing everything, just like how you might have been testing things on your first social media platform on what's going to work, what's not going to, how the algorithms are changing. And I'm like, so I knew no one was going to be in the studio. So I want to have those people on who can't be working. It's not if they don't have a project or anything that's going on. Talk about what you want to do. There'll be people listening. Or I just I have someone, you can just call them. Tell them I sent you. They'll hire you right away because they trust our judgment. And that's a great thing. Because you also like to sing too, right? Yeah. See, people don't think of you as a singer, but I know you do many things. Yeah. You might not be acting right now because they just started picking up production. But
I actually did get a movie in August. It's a Christmas movie that's going to be coming out
good
next
for you.
month.
Talk about that.
Yes. It's called Bows of Holly. Bow is in B-A-U, or B-E-A-U. Like the guy, like a bow.
Like Bo Bridges.
Like a bow.
Your boy.
Yeah, like a bow.
Your boyfriend.
A boyfriend bow. So I got to do that, and that, I was so grateful for that. I mean, and that kind of just came out of nowhere, thankfully. But yeah, I went to Colorado and filmed this Christmas movie that will be, I believe, now don't hold me to this, but I believe it's going to be on the Ion Network for December. Yeah. And it's cool. I mean, I'm super excited about it. I've been getting such great feedback from the editors and the director and everybody. And there was a lot of great energy there. And it was also really nice to, be able to fly somewhere. I did get poked up the nose for this COVID test like every day. So that was interesting. And I get being on it and, being super cautious and doing all the tests. But I'm always wondering, like, why every single day when we're all safe? Like when we're all getting tested and we're all there, you know what I mean? Like we're all there because we got tested negative. So it just feels, I don't know. I mean, we'll keep doing it.
Here's what it is, because I've watched it. People get careless. Not every, like I'm a clean freak. Even when I had my horse ranch, people will tell you when they went on my ranch for dressage, it was clean. You could see everything, and I never had any raccoons, skunks, or anything like that in the 4 years or 3 months that I had it. So again, it's about creating that thing. And you talked about the woman walking out of the bathroom. I've seen that with guys. I've really seen it with women. I'm like, here. That's why I give them the restroom kits.
I can imagine Brian standing at the door and the person who doesn't go wash their hands, he hands them a restroom kit.
I have no problem because
you need this.
Exactly. I do.
Really funny,
and a lot of times I'll take pictures with strangers with that and the electrical hand sanitizers because I don't want people to get sick.
Yeah.
You might be infecting my friends.
That's true.
They're already going through stuff, so that's why I say
right.
that.
Well, then you know what? Then I'm grateful for.
That's why I gave you like
being
10
on
of them.
Top of it. Yeah. I'm so excited. They're the best. I mean, especially if you travel to other countries, they don't always have the protective sheet covers. Or I mean, I'll put it down and still hover. I don't care. But I'm just saying, like it's nice to feel like you have a second form of protection in your back pocket. But yeah, okay, I totally understand. Thank you for the perspective, and we'll just keep getting tested. It just makes you feel safer too. Just walking around knowing that you're negative, that they're negative, and it does feel good. Yeah,
on that.
It does.
The companies, the independent studios, are not going to be able to survive if we don't help them. It's just like I was reaching out to Lemley Theaters, Bob and Greg Lemley. I wanted to help them 2 years ago. I was reaching out to Regal Theaters 5 years ago. Where are they? All the theaters in Los Angeles are closed still.
Oh man, I know.
They're not going to come back. All the movie theaters, all the things, big productions have been pushed till next year. That's just what it is.
I mean, there's a few.
Orange County, your neighborhood things are open, but still, that's independent film.
Far and few between how many productions are really happening right now. But
you can see a lot out now, going on now, but they're trying to rush it, But you can't make mistakes still.
Yeah. No,
because people's lives depend on it.
Yeah, it's a real sensitive time right now. There's a lot of like slow steps, one foot in front of the other. Not like it used to be able to multitask and do all sorts of things. It's like now there's a lot more at stake. So yeah,
there's a lot of unknowns too. So that's kind of scary.
I think that's most of it.
That's the biggest thing. It's like, when is this gonna end? When is it's so.
I don't think it's ever going away.
It's
I think
not
it's
going
gonna
away
be
for
it's
5
gonna be
years.
like a flu, right? Like we have
Yeah.
the flu, and it's like there's a season, and there's it's just gonna be one
Part
of
of
those
life.
things. Yeah, like I mean, do you know how many people die from actual influenza? I mean,
Yep.
it's kind of crazy. Nobody really knows that, but they say like, oh, you had the flu. So I feel like eventually it's gonna become something like that. Like even like chicken pox, they have, adults are more susceptible to passing away if
Yeah.
they get chicken pox. I know when I had it, my dad had to stay away from me because if he got it, who the hell knows?
If you have chickenpox and then you're in your 50s, then you get shingles because
Yeah.
you already had the virus. So
Right.
yeah.
So it's just one of those things. I think we're eventually going to have to adapt and
To it.
learn. And the CDC is coming out with things all the time about like they were really, really strict about like surface touching and stuff like that. And, they came out with something later on saying, it's actually it's airborne. It's not necessarily like touching things, but obviously we still want to just be more aware of our hygiene and more aware of the cleanliness, which I think is a great thing because a lot of people needed to get woken up about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like people don't wash their hands. Like I've always been, and I got this from my mom, always had a thing of hand sanitizer in my purse. Like I've just always had that. I mean, you should see the stocking stuffers I get. It's like all cleaning stuff and all like little antibacterial.
You see my little corner over here?
Yeah, it's like it's been that way in my life for a really long time. But it's like now people are, they're just more aware and hypersensitive to that, and I think that's great, and I respect that. So, yeah.
So your 2020 calendar, how did that one come about? Because now you have a 2021.
Yeah.
But how did the 2020 happen?
Well, I've actually been doing calendars since 2014. Yeah. So, but I skipped a couple years. So this is my 6th calendar. And I just love it because I produce it, I create it, I come up with the idea.
Oh, you're a producer now. Good for you.
See, yeah.
All right.
Put another thing on my resume. And it's a lot of fun and it keeps me creative. And this year I went to my fans because I do these like the lives and I love them for attending. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to make you a part of it. Mm-hmm. So I asked them like, I want to do a theme this year. Like, what's the theme? And they ended up saying they wanted a car wash theme. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. I mean, I got a ton of themes like that they suggested, but I love cars, and I actually really do love washing my car, which is a weird thing, but
really?
I love washing my car.
It's not a fantasy, it's true.
It's true. I really love washing my car. I mean, I was the girl.
So the person that buys her a car, it's got to be the one she wants.
Yeah,
she'll wash it.
Yeah. So far, I've bought all my own cars, but we'll get there one day. And but yeah, I mean, I absolutely
look at my
love.
month. I love September.
Oh, me too. It's my month too.
That's
my favorite
photo.
Dude, it reminds me of like Bridget Bardot. Like I loved that photo.
God, it's really. You know why? Because you're not smiling. It's different.
Yeah, it was. That was actually. I didn't know we were taking that one. I think that was just like a shot that just happened. But yeah, it ended up being like one of my favorites. But yeah, I got to take it to the fans. The fans suggested a car wash theme, and I chose it out of a bunch that they said, and this is what came of it.
I have to say, this is a really good. This is really cool. I like it.
Thanks.
I'm not into girls and calendars and stuff. No, I'm not. Because all the women I've been around, I don't care about.
They've all done that.
But I was curious what she was going to come up with. This is really cool.
And did you see on each month it has a motivational quote?
I love that.
Yeah.
That's what I like, and that's what I was wondering what she was going to do.
Yeah,
that's why I wanted
to
her
put
to bring
in some
them.
positivity in there. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. The ones that ended up being my favorite, like I just kept researching all these quotes. I read so many. And how they ended up fitting with each month was really cool. So yeah, I really enjoy it because I mean you have those ones that have the quote of the day and things like that you can tear off, and it's like nobody's gonna tear and throw away like a calendar, mostly with a girl on it, right? It's like you probably kind of want to save your favorite shots. So I always do it in a nice big old school calendar that I love seeing. I've had people like show me pictures of it in their garage, in their office, and their like wherever, and I'm like, yes, it's so cool.
I'm gonna come up with a great spot to show this then. Oh, the Mike House Studio.
There you go.
So, who is shot by Gifted Mindset? Who's that?
Gifted Mindset, he's amazing. His name is Joseph.
all
He
this,
shot,
huh?
yeah. I
He's
hired
really
him to. Oh yeah, he's
really
great.
good.
Oh my gosh, he's great. I hired him to shoot this calendar. I went to a friend first, and he was like, "No, for what you want this guy." So he shot my own calendar. It took, and it was an entire day. I scouted a place. I got all the cars. There was a bunch of cars, but it ended up being obviously more of a focus on me. But we shot it at this at a car dealership on a Sunday. I think it was a Sunday. It was the hottest day of the year, September 6th. It was like 100 and almost
This
120. Yeah.
You did it that quickly?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I shot it September 6th.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I have a designer and the guy Gifted Mindset who shot it. He edited it because they're his photos, and that's the way he goes, which is totally awesome and respectable. And then put it through a designer, and I like I said, I've been doing these calendars for many years, so I knew where to get them printed, and then they shipped to me.
That's incredible. Good for you.
Yeah.
So they can get this where?
They can get it on my website. I'm going to start putting them up also on eBay, which is what I usually do. I just haven't been able to yet. But if you go to my Instagram...
you just are so swamped and busy.
I know.
You're doing.
I'm just juggling, but it's all good. All good things. But yeah, there's a link on my Instagram. I have a link tree that will allow you to, go to the website or choose the calendar. It says it on there as one of the options. So yeah, mostly everyone goes through Instagram or Facebook. Yeah.
What was the first social media site that you really worked? Was it your Facebook or was it Instagram?
Wow, that's
and
a
how did
great
that happen?
Question.
Because for me, it's become YouTube because I wanted it to be more visual. There's no way I couldn't get followers. That's why I'm happy with Terri and Victoria get. Yeah. I can't do that. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot. It's a daily thing because you have to satisfy algorithms.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is even more now. Yeah, it's intense. But how did I start? Honestly, Instagram was starting to be the new thing, and I had an Android. I still have an Android.
Me too.
I love Androids.
I do too.
Samsung all the way. I swear one day I'm going to be a Samsung girl. I swear to God.
Me too. I ended up getting Google because I liked it, but I'm a Samsung person also.
I'm a Samsung so much. They ended up finally going to Android, the app of Instagram, and I hopped on it. I didn't know what it was going to be. It was so much easier to grow back then, guys. Like, it really was, because people wanted to share, people wanted to like. It was all chronological. It was just the algorithms were more forgiving. They really shared. Like, I have people that I follow, I never see their stuff. Never. And I'm like, no, I want to see that. I want to see all the positive people and the neuroscientists and like all that I follow. I don't want to see the other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see the things that actually matter to me. And it sucks because you can't really fix that, which is really
see. And that's one reason why I never asked it. Anybody. So when you were like working everything up to have you follow me, because I'm like, first I thought it was inconsiderate, and second of all, you need to get up to a certain part. And that's why I always tell Terri, never mind about your followers, people will end up following you with what we're creating. We're just going to do it a different way. And as you can see, it's working, because now she's on a show. Her show is at when I looked I looked at 3 this morning, is at 1,013,000 views on the Flex 24. And
which
again, once you can get to, Nikki, you'll know this better than me because I can't find any. How many people do you know that's never been broadcast, not even on a network, off of one site out of Franklin, Tennessee, and you've got 1 million views on that one show?
You guys, I guess.
We're the only
right?
ones that I've been able to find. So,
trick question.
But with that, you understand what it's like to get to that 1 million views, because once you get through there, and I always say this, what is harder, your first 1 million or your second 1 million? It's the first one. I can tell you that now.
Just like finding the first money.
Yeah, it's the first
For
one.
a project.
So we have 2 shows now. We have 2 million views on individual
awesome.
shows, and they're still growing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going by the views. So when I'm looking at what you're doing,
And yours is on YouTube, right?
no, it's not on YouTube.
Oh, it's not YouTube?
It's on
iTunes.
iTube 247,
Oh, shit.
which goes
All
up
right.
against it.
Uh-huh.
That's what makes it even more unique.
Yeah.
Our agreement was we can't put it on it.
Oh, it has to be exclusive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I mean. That's why it's worked, and that's why
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
it
I can
is
get
work.
to 1 million on YouTube. I'm like, oh my God, I never worked so hard. I have an idea how hard you work to get to that million on your Instagram.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I was like, Terry, I'm tired. I don't go out. I'm holidays, Good Friday. The last 2 years, I was working on all those holidays, but it's paid off now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's how it is for me too. It's like I put in, I mean, gosh, when did Instagram start? 2013 or 14?
Was it that
13?
early? I guess
Something
it was.
like that, yeah.
It has to be around.
Yep.
It has to be around 2012 and 13, something like that. And it's like, yeah, you had to work your butt off. You had to keep at it every day. I mean, I kind of wish I had more of the wherewithal of how important Instagram was going to be back in the day. Like I didn't post every single day, and we didn't have stories, so it was actually easier. I could have posted every day, but I wasn't thinking that way.
You were in a whole different world. You were hosting at that point, weren't you?
Yeah, I was hosting radio on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just a whole other thing. And yeah, that did keep me kind of posting. But it just, it's not like it is today. It's like literally I have to post every single day to stay with the algorithm. Because also, if a company wants to see what my logistics are, I have to go in and like take a screenshot of like all the numbers and all the graphs. And if you took a day off, it's going to reflect in that
drops.
graph. And
Yep.
it's like, oh, well, I don't want to see anything older. We only want to see the recent. And if you took that day off and your numbers go down, it's crazy. So it's like,
It's
you have
amazing
to,
what they want, and they're like making demands. And I got this
Yeah.
from you.
Yeah.
Remember 2 years ago you were on a show, and you sent me a graph, and I'll never forget. It was 91,738 views. and I texted you back. I go, "Is this real?" And her response to me was, "Why wouldn't it be?"
Yeah.
And I never forgot that she said that, because I'm like, "Oh, I get it."
Yeah.
So that's why I started putting up all the graphs of what we were
Well,
doing.
what she's saying is what I'm doing on TikTok, because I'm putting up a video up there today to keep up the algorithm.
Yeah.
And I'm growing that way, and I'm seeing it start to domino because I've been following the algorithm, and I'm making sure that I'm posting every day. I did take some time off this week because I had so much time I didn't have time to do it, which is not an excuse because I need to post every single day. But I get exactly what you're saying, because that's what I'm doing, and it is a lot of work because I got to get up and go, okay, I got to find something goofy to do, but something that somebody's going to watch, because it's mindless stuff, but you still have to put a lot of energy to figure out like what's going to bring that audience in to want to watch this.
Yeah.
So it's work.
It's a
work.
lot of thought, a lot of forethought, a lot of planning. I mean, and it's not like we're adults, so we care about also what we look like.
Yes.
Like kids can just go on and be like
I know.
whatever and be fun and crazy, and I'm like, dang it, but I don't really see myself like rolling out of bed and producing a TikTok. Like it's something you have to really think
You gotta
about
make
it.
sure your lighting's
Although that
right.
might actually intrigue people a little bit more if I just completely was like,
That's funny.
this is it in the morning. Hello.
But as you were saying earlier, it is one of those things where you see people doing different things. Because Terry, remember when people were taking selfies? You don't see so many of that now. When COVID hit, they didn't I can't take a picture of me rolling out of bed.
Yeah.
When everybody
Yeah.
was locked out, and they stopped. We were still going forward. We never stopped. Now, if anything, I'm slowing down right now because now we've taken the time to craft everything. And so when we have like someone like you on, and we've had Kenny Arnett, a bunch of people come into the studio, the ones that feel comfortable coming in, because like once they come here, they're like, oh, I'm okay. And there's a few people here, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But
we're
in their
still
minds,
social
it's tough to leave their house.
Yeah, there's a lot of people are stuck in that, and I don't know. It's just all based on your own comfortability level. It's not anything anybody can tell you. It's not anyone.
Which is why they should watch your live Instagrams.
Yeah, if you're home.
Exactly.
If
No
you
matter
got your
where you
phone
go.
in your hand, which I know you do.
Exactly. You can watch exactly what she's creating because
Yeah.
it is inspiring. I have to absolutely
you.
say that, and I haven't seen it from anybody else. And I would think there'd be more people doing it, and there used to be some fitness people doing it, but they're not. Here's another thing that I'm laughing at. Just because you can do a podcast doesn't really mean you can do a podcast. That's like certain people
Or shouldn't
think they
do
can
it.
wear certain things and it'll look good on them. You can own it, but that doesn't mean it looks good on you.
Right.
But I'm okay that you own it.
Yeah.
Or if just because you have a smartphone doesn't mean you know how to use it. That doesn't make you smart. It just doesn't. Some people, she teases me that I don't take good photos.
I always make it because of Instagram. I want to change the lighting because I was like, Brian, you got to give me this so I can make sure the lighting is good because it just makes a difference on the image
Yeah,
on
it does.
social media.
And that's fine.
So yeah.
People like images based on lighting too.
Yep,
like
they
it's a
do.
huge thing. It's
Yeah,
like
and I had-
lighting, composition.
I had to tell him a couple times, I go, Brian, before you post that, let me change the lighting because I have InShot and I just put it through there. I brighten everything up and there's a huge difference. And I'm sorry, but I don't like when people go in there and alter the way they look. To me, that's horrible.
That's
but the
awful.
lighting is a whole different game. You know what I mean? Because it does make a difference.
True.
So, yeah.
We got about a couple minutes left. Give your website for everybody because it is easy, but for those people who haven't met you before.
Oh yeah, okay. It's www.missnikkileigh.com. MISSNIKKILEIGH.
And Terri.
Oh, Terri Marie Nonstop on TikTok, Instagram, and then that's my fan page on Facebook. And then my website's terrimarieofficial.com for my fitness and all that good stuff and hosting.
So one of the things, talk about what Sportamix is about.
Sportamix is kind of a Facebook for the world of sports. That's the way I would kind of put it. Where professional sports people, soccer moms, kids, it opens up the whole world of sports to you where you can, pick other people's brains about the sports world. I mean, if a agent is scouting young people in any kind of sport, and there's football, there's soccer, there's fitness, there's
hockey.
golf. Anything in sports is on Sportamix, and it's a great networking tool.
So that's where
Yep.
when Nikki has time, I'm going to bring her into our world of sports for Sportamix because you're going to like what we've created with that. And we have to thank Gene Sinertian. Gene,
Yes.
once you see him from Celebrity Connected, this is his baby for this. And he's got really great deals that are already done. And he would have been here today. He's working on stuff because he's like, here's Nikki. I'm like, you'll recognize her once you see her. She's always been at your celebrity gifting suites. Okay, Brian. All right, fine enough, good enough. So I'll just have Terri talking about. But yeah, we haven't forgotten about you in the world of sports, especially outside the country. There's a lot of great things. This time last year, we were doing the world of jiu-jitsu in Long Beach, and that was a fun event. There are so many people out there that need publicity when it comes to the world of sports, and I found that out in the world of dressage. When I saw all those women spending so much money on their horses and just what they were wearing and not getting publicity, I said, I'm going to change this. That's one reason why I started. I wanted to have women coming in talking about what they're doing because I felt they weren't getting recognitions. And it happens in the world of fitness too. You're spending so much money on how you're looking, your bikini, your makeup, your tan, the shoes and all that stuff, and it adds up. And then you win something, the dollar amount doesn't add up to what you spend. And I'm like, this is not fair. This is not right. That's got to change.
Well, for fitness, to me, it was more of the experience, the motivation and stuff because you're always putting more money out than you do get back. I mean, you get a trophy in those shows. You really, and you know that. I mean, how hard we work as athletes and then what we get back. But
yeah. So that's one of those things. And so when you were traveling and I saw those photos of you at a different arena, I'm like, this is smart. You don't see many people doing that. They do it at the arena, their home arena that they go in, but you doing it a different way. I'm like, that's great. So we have to do something sort of like that. So I figured out a lot of things 2 years ago when we went to Tennessee. I'm like, we can create what we did here in the garage. And if we can we're at 3.9 million out of Tennessee, if we can get that out of here, we can do it on a grand level of all the stuff that we were doing, incorporating it. And it has worked that way.
Yeah, I mean, right now is the time of all innovation. Like we gotta think outside the box right now, and we gotta stay afloat.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
talk about that movie one last time.
Oh, Bows of Holly. Yeah, it should be out on the Ion Network. I really think it is the Ion Network. Don't mark my words, but you can follow me if you need to make sure. Bows of Holly. It will be out in December, and yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be cute. It was really fun. We shot it in Colorado. It was a lot.
I'm sure it was just good just to get out of town, wasn't it?
It was just great to work. It was great to, get out of town, see new scenery. Colorado, Denver was amazing and beautiful. And then we, drove a little bit deeper into like the woods, if you will, and really got to shoot on location, which was really nice. So yeah, I mean, it was just a great experience to be back in action as much as we can be.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Terry, website one last time.
TerriMarieOfficial.com, and then nonstop Terri Marie on all platforms.
All right. So I want to thank Nikki for coming because it's taken me a while to get this young lady in, but it's always worth it because here's the thing. She is busy creating a lot of things, and she will reach back out to you eventually, just like anybody else. We are really extremely busy, but it's not like we're not seeing things. There's just so much stuff going on in the world. And we will answer. It's like when you're doing a show and you're producing, you're putting like a calendar like this, which is beautiful together.
Thank you.
It's a lot of work. I didn't know you turned it around that quickly.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's not easy.
No.
Good for you.
Yeah, and being on top of everybody, that's like the toughest part for me because I hate bugging people. I'm like, this needs to be done by this, and it gets a little tough. But
it does.
It came out really wonderful. It's honestly my favorite yet. So.
See, and that's great. See, and I love September. I looked at February was good, and April was good. I'm like, wow, these are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I love it's really the sayings. That's what I like because I've never been, like I said before, I'm not a girl calendar guy.
Yeah.
I like what you did.
Yeah.
And I love the signatures. It's just classic.
Thank you.
So, as I always say, if you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. This is Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, Worldwide TV Network, WomenOnTV.tv, iHeartRadio. What am I forgetting something, Terry? There's so much stuff.
You said
I'm sure. Yes.
Okay.
There's so much stuff going on. So anyhow, we will see you next week, and we look forward to seeing what's happening between now and the end of the year. And keep your spirits up.
Yeah.
See you
Thanks,
later.
guys.
See you next week.